Day number 303 of the grand experiment. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm ready. The club's going up on a Tuesday. So am I. We got Forest first. That doesn't count. Cool art, though. I gotta say, that's not so bad. Next is, wow, Sword of Light and Shadow. We hit. First thing today we hit. This is a good one, man. 3 mana for an artifact. It's an equipment. You equip it for 2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has pro white and black. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life, and you may return up to 1 target creature card from your yard to the hand. So cast Healing Salve and also Raise Dead, which is pretty good. Protection from white and from black is the best part of this card, though. Just like Michael Jackson. It don't matter if you're black or white. You're not blocking this guy. If you get blocked by this dude, you're screwed. You know what I mean? So that happens some of the time. But mostly the draw here is that the creature now can't die to Doomblade effects. It can't die to Sword to Plowshares effects. Like all the removal in white and black. The colors with the 2 most plentiful and unconditional removal. Save for, well, no. Definitely those 2 things are true. Can't touch your guy. So in some ways, Sword of Light and Shadow is one of the best ones. You know, the red-blue one is good too, but Sword of Light and Shadow. I'm going to ask the audience before I rate this card. Now, I've already given the game away that this is probably well above a 5, but I kind of want to know like how everyone feels, especially people who play a lot of Commander and CEDH, especially nowadays. If you're in the comments, let me know how good these swords are nowadays, especially this one, because it's always been one of the better ones. They're not all great. They're not. They're really not. But this one is especially legendary among these swords, right? So I'm going to give this an 8. More than solid. I think you'll note. An 8 is a really good score, but I think that Sword of Light and Shadow deserves it. This protects the creature from many removal spells. In some way, it doesn't say protection from red, but it gives them +2/+2. So if they have a decent toughness to begin with, it's also very close to protection from red. So just a crazy, crazy thing here. The upsides for hitting aren't as good as some other swords, but casting Raise Dead is pretty good. It actually is. So we'll move on, though. I could spend all day talking about how incredible this card is, especially considering sometimes it raises dead something that is better to put the sword on in the first place. So you put the sword on that, you raise dead your Grave Titan, play it, put the sword on that, you're getting crazy. So just good stuff. Good memories. Sword of Light and Shadow. Sinbad up next from Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights. It's 2 mana, 1 and a blue for a human. That's all. It used to be Summon Sinbad. It's not even a legendary creature. It isn't. It's just a human, just a guy. I guess there's many different Sinbads, and they all do this. Tap this guy, draw a card, reveal it. If it's not a land, discard it. So a 2 mana 1/1 that draws lands. Believe it or not, people played this card. Way back. I think by the time I get to 4th edition, we stopped seeing this card. But I have played against Sinbads in my life. Let me just put it that way. I'm going to give Sinbad a low score. I'm going to give this like a 2.6. It draws lands. If you know there's a land on top, it draws it. Could be worse. It honestly could be worse. Next is Tainted Observer from Phyrexia Albo. This is 3 mana, 1 blue and a green for a 2/3 Phyrexian bird. That's what a Phyrexian bird looks like. Jeez. Nightmares. This has flying and toxic 1, so players dealt combat damage by it get a poison counter. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, proliferate. That's not a bad line of text, is it? Whenever another creature ETBs under your control, which is usually a good way to start a line of text on a Magic card in the first place, pay 2 mana, proliferate. I like it. I can't help but like this. It also has Toxic, which is always a good ability in Commander to begin with. So I'm actually going to go crazy here and give this a 5.1. I'm so serious. I think that this is a really good ability. It does cost you extra mana, but especially in later turns, especially in Proliferate decks, like you'll have extra mana. You know? So you play a creature, proliferate. Play a creature, proliferate. And suddenly, you're off the rails. So all I'm saying is give it a second look. Observe this card for a second time. And don't let me taint your opinion. I'm trying to throw in all the puns I can. I'm just saying, give it a shot. Give it a whirl. It's not bad. Next is, oh, Goblin Rabblemaster. You're a legendary card, aren't you? In a way. This is from Magic 2015 originally. This is 3 mana, 2 and a red for a 2/2 Goblin Warrior. Other goblin creatures you control attack each turn if able. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste onto the battlefield. Whenever Rabblemaster attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking goblin. Does not have trample. Does not matter. This thing ruled Standard. This was part of one of the most famous goblin decks of all time in Standard. Doesn't really see all the play in the world in Commander. Not really, but especially considering it kind of provokes all your goblins every turn. And sometimes you'd rather not do that, you know. But for the most part, Rabblemaster has its place in Magic history, and I'm going to give it the honorary 5 today. I don't think this is a 5 in Commander. I really don't think it's quite there. But this one has quite the pedigree if you were playing when it was important. If you know, you know. This is a very good card. I love you, Rabblemaster. I do. I'll never see you on this series again. I'll never get to rate you again, and that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. I'll never play with Goblin Rabblemaster for the first time ever again. And that is also sad. It was at one point a great Magic card. It was. We'll move on to Ramunap Ruins, baby. This is apparently in Time Spiral Remastered with a retro frame. That's kind of cool. This is a land. It's a desert that taps for a colorless mana. You can tap and pay a life to add a red. Or you can pay 2 and double red, tap it, and sack a desert to have it deal 2 damage to each opponent. Still a fine card. I really do think it's still a fine little Magic card, man. This was very important in Hour of Devastation for a good long time. In that like Standards mono red aggro deck, this is a very good card. Surprisingly, but maybe not surprisingly. It's got a subtype. It enters play untapped and taps for, colored mana, which is crazy. And also, if you don't want to pay the life, if you don't want it to be a pain land, then it just makes the colorless mana. That's dope. And you don't even have to sack it. Sack a desert to deal 2 damage. That was good in mono red for a while. It's like a form of reach. It's a great card. And I still think it is. Probably not going to go in all of the Commander decks, but I still like it. I'm going to give this card a 5.1. I really am. Oh, it's mono red kind of day today for like competitive formats. It really is. River Kelpie. Now, we've done this card before, and I believe I may have misread it the last time we did it. Whenever River Kelpie or another permanent is put into play from a graveyard, draw a card. Okay, whenever a spell is played from a graveyard, draw a card. Persist. That's still good. That's still really good. People play spells from graveyards all the time. You're playing spells from graveyards, like your blue-red deck that plays Underworld Breach. You're just drawing a bunch of cards off Underworld Breach and stuff like that. There's a bunch of cards like that in red. And then, like, also, whenever another permanent is put into play from a yard, so like Reanimation, draw a card. I just feel like this is an engine that's in a Commander game is going to draw you a bunch of cards. Like, all the time. I still think that. How did I misread it? I don't know. I would still give this card like a 7. I'm serious. This card's so good. I don't care if it costs 5 mana. I love it. Next is Swamp. Good-looking Swamp, too, by Lucas Graciano here. Like it. Grinning Totem from Mirage. Oh, look at that price. How the mighty have fallen. That's actually painful to my childhood. Right there. This is 4 mana for an artifact. Pay 2, tap it, sack it. Search a target opponent's library for any card. Put it face up in front of you. Player shuffles his library afterwards. You may play the card as though it were in your hand. If you do not play the card by the beginning of your next upkeep, put it into its owner's graveyard. So, you got to pay 2 extra mana to search your opponent's library for any card and play that card. You still have to have the mana to play it, and you only really get 1 turn to do so. That said, this was the chase rare in Mirage when Mirage came out. This was the card from Mirage. It reminded a lot of people of Jester's Cap, which was the chase rare in Ice Age, and kind of followed a similar trajectory. We learned nothing in the old days. Jester's Cap came out, did nothing really in competitive aside from being in certain sideboards, right? And remained $20 until it leveled off at like 10 to 15. Grinning Totem, immediately chase rare in this set. Again, we learned nothing, and it trended down faster than Jester's Cap, but still remained like $10 for a long time. Just a cool card in function, cool looking card too. Donato Giancola's been at it for a long time in Magic. This is proof. And I've always kind of had a soft spot for Grinning Totem, but I don't think that it was ever and is not now a particularly good Magic card. That said, in Commander, this is kind of a 6 mana, you have to pay 2 mana to use it. Tutor that allows you to hit any card in an opponent's library. You have 3 opponents and they each have a bunch of cards in their library and they did not play when building their deck unless they did. So you could be able to fish something up really good with a Grinning Totem. I'm just not sure that it ever actually is worth slotting into your Magic deck, to be honest. So $20 card in 1998 or whatever it was, 96, down to 60 cents nowadays. That's really painful. I'm going to give Grinning Totem a 3.6 and move on. It's so sad to do. Love you, Mirage. Love you. Fire Tempest from Portal and Starter 99 is up next. This is 7 mana, 5 and 2 red for a sorcery that deals 6 to each creature and player. So it is Inferno. This is just another copy of Inferno with cool art here by Mike Dringenberg. That's not bad. That said, though, it is 7 mana to probably not kill everything. So I'm going to give this, what would I give Inferno? Inferno's not bad. It's a sweeper. I go to 4.9. I think that we're close, There's probably way better ways to use slots in your deck, right? Next is, it's Wayfarer's Bauble. When were you printed, dog? When? 5th Dawn? Yeah, that makes some sense. 1 mana for an artifact. Pay 2, tap it, sack it to search your library for a basic land and put it into play tapped. And then shuffle your library. Very good. Still good. There's a discussion right now about which cards from the old days that we used to play in Commander are obsoleted at this point. Things like Sullen Simulacrum and whatnot. I think Wayfarer's Bauble is in that conversation, and I think that that's wrong. I think the Bauble is still really playable in Commander. I think this thing's great. I was going to say depending on your build, but not even. You don't have to be landfall. You don't have to be a bunch of basic lands deck. Just Wayfarer's Bauble's good. It just is. It's like a rampant growth in a lot of ways that any deck can play. It's, your follow-up to a turn 1 Soul Ring. Soul Ring, Bauble, it's crazy. I still think Bauble's really good. I'm going to give Wayfarer's Bauble a 7. I just think it's a really solid Magic card. Not, overpowered or anything, so I'm not going above a 7, but it is at least a 7. The card's good. Next is, Sarah Avatar. Oh, Sarah Avatar, baby. The Junior Super Series version of this, which a lot of people had in their binders when I was a kid, is $36. The Urza Saga original printing, still $4, man. This is still impressing people. It's not that it's impressing people, it's that people with nostalgia are willing to pay $4 for the card from their childhood that did not pan out. Now, I have done Sarah Avatar before, but just know that everyone who was 12 when this set came out, massive mark. Massive rube for this card. But I wouldn't take it back for anything. Next is Collected Company. Let's go. Originally from Dragons of Tarkir. You can get it for less than $2 now. And it took over some competitive environments. This is 4 mana, 3 and a green. For some reason, it's an instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put up to 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from among those onto the battlefield. The rest go in the bottom random order. So you get 2 mana value if you do it right. Out of this instant speed card, you ramp 2 creatures onto the table during your opponent's combat step or end step for 4 mana. Filthy, degenerate card. It's so good. Is this super playable in Commander? I'm not sure. But again, the hold that it had on multiple competitive environments for a couple of years there, you got to respect it. I'm going to give Collected Company a 6. Again, mostly because we're rating for casual Commander, but I think that it might be pretty good in casual Commander. So, look at that. Look at that Future Sight from Mystery Booster 2, that Future Sight Collected Company. I like that. I like that a lot. Next is Endurance Bobblehead from Fallout. This is 3 mana for an artifact. It is also typed as a Bobblehead. You can tap it and add a mana of any color, or you can pay 3 and tap it. And up to X target creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. X being the number of Bobbleheads you control as you activate this ability. Do this at sorcery speed. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I guess that you can make a creature get indestructible, but you can only do it at sorcery speed. So, kind of defeats the purpose. It's just a rock. End of the day, it's just a rock. 2.9. Serious. I want to like this more, but I don't. I just flat out don't. And that, wow, it was the last card of the day, too. Oh, damn. So I guess that's all we got, y'all. I'll see you in the morning. I promise. I'll be here. Bye.